I've always thought marriages don't just explode overnight. They usually fade bit by bit. Little fights, growing distance, bitterness stacking up like dust in the corners. But mine? Mine shattered in one single brutal second I never saw coming. It all started with something tiny, totally harmless. I was racing around the kitchen that morning, throwing together a lunch for the job site. Already late. My wife, Sarah, was perched at the island, glued to her phone, hair twisted up in a messy knot, robe barely knotted. She looked worn out. Far away. Nothing like the girl who used to launch herself into my arms the second I walked through the door. Giggling over absolutely nothing. We'd been drifting for a while. Her staying out late, my crack of dawn shifts, silent dinners, fake polite smiles. Nights she rolled over facing the wall pretending to sleep while I heard the soft click of her texting under the covers. I kept telling myself it was just stress from the new job. People change. Marriages have rough patches. But something tight kept twisting in my gut that I couldn't ignore no matter how hard I tried. "You heading out early?" she asked without even glancing up. "Yeah," I answered, lacing my boots. "Got a big concrete pour on the west side today." She just hummed, still scrolling. I stopped and really looked at her. "Everything all right? You've seemed off." She finally lifted her eyes, green-brown, pretty as ever but weirdly blank. "I'm good, Caleb. You're reading too much into it." Ever since she started that new marketing gig, there'd been this invisible wall between us. She dressed sharper, talked differently, even her laugh sounded foreign. Little things, but I noticed. Still, I swallowed it down like most husbands do. I walked over, kissed the top of her head before I left. She didn't lean into it like she used to. The whole drive to work I tried to shake the feeling. The site was loud, chaotic, jackhammers yelling, mixers roaring. Exactly what I needed to drown out the noise in my head. But all morning my phone kept buzzing. Not from Sarah. From her best friend, Mia. Missed calls. Short texts. "Call me when you get a sec. Caleb, it's important." Mia never texted me. Ever. At lunch I stepped away from the crew and called her back. She picked up on the first ring, voice shaky. "Caleb, where's Sarah right now?" Said she was grabbing coffee with a coworker. "Why?" Silence. Then a shaky breath. "She's not at a coffee shop." My stomach dropped through my boots. "What do you mean she's not?" "I'm sending you something. Sit down first." My palms were already sweating when the photo came through. One image. Burned into my brain forever. Sarah in a hotel room. Nothing but a thin white robe, standing next to a guy from her office I recognized. Leaning into him like coffee was the last thing they'd shared that morning. Everything inside me went dead quiet. No screaming, no punching a wall. Just an ice-cold stillness that only hits when the truth slams into you so hard it knocks every feeling out. I stared at that picture until the screen blurred. Every memory. Our first date, our wedding day, the night she cried in my arms because she was scared she'd never be enough. Flashed by like some sick highlight reel. A coworker. A robe. A hotel room. And the worst part? She'd looked me in the eye that morning and lied without blinking. I didn't yell. I didn't call her. I didn't speed home. I just whispered to myself, "All right, that's how we're playing it." Because betrayal flips a switch. Something cold, sharp, and terrifyingly clear wakes up inside you. And right then, staring at that photo, my plan started building itself. I didn't go back to work after lunch. My hands were shaking too hard to grip a hammer. Everything sounded muffled, like I was underwater. I clocked out early, told the foreman I felt sick. Not a lie. And sat in my truck with the engine running, staring at nothing. The picture still glowed on my screen. Sarah in that robe. The guy Orion. I remembered now. The one she swore was just loud and totally harmless. The one she told me not to feel threatened by. The one she brought up more than her own sister. I pressed my thumb into the steering wheel until the nail went white. A slow, twisting burn started in my chest. Not hot enough to explode, but cold enough to think. Really think. First, I needed the full story, not from Sarah. From the person who sent the photo. I drove straight to Mia's place. She was waiting in the lobby, pacing, phone clutched like a lifeline. The second she saw me, her face crumpled with guilt. "Caleb, I'm so sorry. Just tell me how long." My voice came out flat. Too flat. Her lip quivered. "A few weeks, maybe longer." She kept saying she was happy, just stressed. Then this morning I saw them going into the elevator at the Eastview Hotel together. She covered her mouth as tears welled up. I couldn't let her make a complete idiot out of you. You don't deserve that. Those words hit harder than the picture. Made a fool of. I wasn't mad at Mia. She didn't betray me. But hearing it out loud felt like taking a pipe to the ribs. I nodded slow. Thanks for telling me. She whispered. What are you going to do? I didn't answer. I didn't know yet. But I knew what I wasn't going to do: scream, throw things, make threats. Loud revenge is sloppy. Quiet revenge? That's the kind people never forget. Back in my truck I stared at my hands. Callous, strong hands that built houses, fixed cars, held Sarah through panic attacks and bad news and every storm she ever faced. Hands that were shaking now because she threw it all away like it was nothing. Driving home felt suffocating. Every stoplight, every familiar street made the knife twist deeper. Her perfume still hung in the hallway when I walked in. That soft floral one she saved for date nights. Except today wasn't our date night. I went to our bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, and looked at the framed photos on the nightstand. Us laughing on the pier. Her in that sundress in Tahoe. Me holding her like she was my whole world. I felt nothing. Not love, not even pain anymore. Just crystal clear focus. There's a point where hurt gets so deep it goes quiet. That's where I was. I opened the closet, pulled out the safe box: deeds, insurance, joint account info, everything that tied our lives together. I didn't move anything yet. Just looked. Memorized. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. Running a little late, coffee took forever. You good? The nerve. The absolute ice-cold nerve. I typed back, yeah, all good. She sent back a smiley face. I showered, changed, and waited on the couch. When her car finally pulled in, I didn't move. She walked through the door carrying a little shopping bag, humming like she'd had the most normal day on earth. Hey babe, she chirped. Sorry I'm late. Mason and I got carried away talking about the new campaign. Her words died when she saw my face. Caleb? You okay? I looked at her for a long, silent second. She had no clue. She still thought she was winning. Yeah, I said quietly. I'm fine. Relief flashed across her face. Good. I'm gonna grab a quick shower. Long day. Of course it was. As the bathroom door clicked shut, I leaned back and closed my eyes. I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. Cheaters love knowing they hurt you. They don't get that satisfaction. They get the shock of realizing you were never hurt. You were just done. She came out later wrapped in a towel, steam rolling out behind her, moving around the room like her perfect little world was still intact: lotion, hair, pajamas, humming. Like guilt didn't even exist in her universe. I watched from the doorway, face blank. She caught my eye and smiled. You're staring. Just thinking, I said, voice perfectly steady. That night she curled up against me like nothing had changed, head on my chest, out cold in minutes. I stayed awake not to suffer but to plan. She didn't deserve my tears. She only deserved what was coming. The next few days I became the perfect husband on the outside: breakfast in bed, folding her laundry, cracking jokes at dinner. She relaxed more than she had in months, totally blind to the fact her world was already coming apart at the seams. Behind the scenes I was busy. First call was to my cousin Tyler, who works in finance. Need a favor. Move my savings into a new account. No joint alerts. Done, he said. No questions. I scanned every document we own: house, cars, retirement, insurance. Built a file. Tracked every dollar she'd stopped paying attention to years ago. She kept up her routine: late showers, work emails, phone face down on the table, stepping outside to call her mom. I never called her out. Silence is power. One night we're watching a movie and her phone lights up. She lunges for it. I beat her there. Not to read it, just to watch her panic. It's just work, she practically shouts, ripping it from my hand. No worries, I smiled. I get it. Her freakout told me everything. She was still seeing him. Perfect. I met Mia again at a quiet coffee shop. You okay? She asked, eyes worried. Better than okay. One more favor. If you ever see them again, text me. That's all. You sure you're not gonna do something crazy? Just something necessary. That weekend Sarah wanted a date night. She got all dressed up: curls, soft makeup, that navy dress I used to love. Did a little spin. How do I look? Gorgeous, I said. And meant it. Didn't change a thing. She beamed and fixed my collar. See? We're good again. I told you we just hit a weird patch. Reconnecting. While she was naked in a hotel with another man that morning. Unreal. At dinner she chatted away about work, laughed, never once said Ryan's name. That said everything. By the time we got home she was floating, totally bought her own lie. She had no idea the trap was already closed. Thursday night I was tightening a cabinet hinge when my phone buzzed. Mia, same hotel. Same floor. Right now. No rush of blood, no rage. Just calm. Thanks. I grabbed my jacket, drove the speed limit. Revenge isn't a sprint. It's surgery. At the Eastview Hotel I didn't head for the elevators. Walked straight to the front desk, calm as ever. Hey man. Need a printout of the charges on my wife's room today. It's our joint card. Slid over ID and the card. Guy tapped a few keys, eyes went soft with pity. Of course, sir. She's a regular. Give me 1 second. Minutes later I walked out with an envelope full of receipts, dates, times, room numbers. Proof in black and white. Got home, set it on the dining table, waited. An hour later Sarah walked in, hair tossed, lipstick gone, same sweater from that morning. Oh, you're still up? Thought you'd be asleep. Had to fix the cabinet. She started past me toward the hallway. I said 2 words. Sit down. She froze. Turned slowly. Caleb. Why do you sound like that? I slid the envelope across the table. Open it. Hands shaking, she pulled out the stack of hotel receipts. Her face went ghost white. Where did you get these? They printed them for me. She started shaking her head fast. Baby, please, it's not what you think, I swear. I raised a hand. Sarah, I'm not doing excuses. I already know everything. Tears spilled instantly. Please let me explain. There's nothing to explain. She broke. Are you leaving me? I set a thick folder on the table. New account statements, new lease in my name, only separation papers already drawn up by a lawyer. I'm not leaving mad, I said quietly. I'm leaving because you left a long time ago. She collapsed into a chair sobbing, reaching for me. I stepped back. Sarah, I gave you every single piece of me. And you paid me back with lies and hotel rooms. She was on the floor now. I made a mistake, a stupid mistake, we can fix this. No. You didn't make a mistake. You made choices. Over and over. I love you, please. Love doesn't hide in hotel rooms. I grabbed my keys. You can stay till the end of the month. Then I'm gone. She screamed my name as I walked out, voice cracking, desperate, destroyed. But the man who stepped out that door wasn't broken. He was finally free.